Hi again, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the absurd. We're going to follow the standard one domestic, one foreign film. Absurdity is a hard thing to do well. It's easy to just be absurd and off the wall and just throw anything out, but to make it absurd yet interesting over a period of time, consistent in its absurdity, and to have a glimmer of intelligence behind it, that is one of the most difficult tightropes you can walk. The idea that you don't know what's coming next, but you still want to stick around and see what's coming next, that's a hard one to capture, because if you just throw out random images, it turns the audience off pretty quick, with the exception of small minorities, little kids perhaps, people high on pot. And you don't want to target your movie just to those tiny audiences, unless you're Pineapple Express. So, the first movie I would like to talk to you about is Bubba Ho-tep. The plot of Bubba Ho-tep is thus. An old Elvis in a West Texas rest home teams up with a black JFK in a wheelchair in modern day, and together they fight against a cowboy mummy that sucks out old people's souls through their anuses. That's the plot of the movie. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, it's beyond a joke. But it works. Bruce Campbell plays an Elvis you've never seen before. This is an old Elvis, because before he died, he switched identities with an Elvis impersonator so he could finally be alone. So they give you a realistic story as to why we've got this old Elvis. Old Elvis has never been done, and Bruce Campbell does it amazingly well. Black JFK, we get less of an explanation for. He throws out some crazy theories, but considering what we saw with Elvis, maybe we can believe them. You even see a person who may in fact be the original Lone Ranger. It depends on how far you want the absurdity to go. The film is very well made. You can tell it's not made on a huge budget, but they really work well with what they've got. The special effects don't seem ridiculous. And in the conclusion, when Elvis is facing off against the cowboy mummy, you actually care. And that's the greatest thing a movie can do, is to make you actually care about the characters. There is language. There is quite a bit. But there's no nudity, and it's a great film. Bring your sense of humor, suspend your disbelief, and enjoy Bubba Ho-tep. On the slightly less absurd scale, let's talk about What to Do in Case of Fire. What to Do in Case of Fire is a German film. I do love my German films. And the plot of it is this. I don't know German history as well as I would like to, but apparently in Germany's past, after World War II, before today, there was a period where anarchists stood up against the police forces. I'm not sure when this was, and I'm a horrible person for not knowing it, but it is during this time that we see a group of teenagers who are among the anarchists. They're fighting back against the police force, and they're making films, and they're setting bombs to go off in buildings where nobody's there. I mean, they're sympathetic terrorists. One of those sentences you never expect to say. They're not trying to hurt anybody, they're just trying to be heard. The majority of the movie takes place 10, 15 years later. All of our people have grown up and they've gone on to different lives. A lawyer, a software Mongol, a mother, a bride-to-be. They've all separated. They don't talk to each other anymore, with the exception of two of the main characters, who are still living up this anarchist lifestyle despite the fact that they're kind of outdated. Anyway, one of the bombs that they initially set up in an empty building didn't go off until today. So now the police are trying to track down this group that set this bomb. Now, all of these characters have to team together And I promise you, I'm not saying anything that wasn't in the trailer, so I don't count this as spoilers. All of these people from various walks of life have to team together and blow up a bomb in the police station before the police can get through the evidence that proves who they are. A group of former terrorists have to get together to become terrorists again so that they don't get arrested for being terrorists. It's not as absurd as Bubba Ho-tep, but it is delightfully absurd in its own way. Now, this movie isn't so much about the plot, since they didn't mind giving it away in the trailer, and I've given away most of it now. This movie is about the characters, and the character story arcs, and the character development. It's about the people, and what they have to do. First of all, who they became in that 10-year period, how they changed, and how they face the prospect of having to go back to that way for one more job. And it's really interesting. There's one visually perfect moment in the movie that is just beautiful cinema. And I included that, a snippet of that, in the footage you saw already. It's a great German film. It's a great foreign film. What to do in case of fire? Question mark, which I blame on a bit of translation error. What to do in case of fire? Is not a great title. What to do in case of fire is. So, go watch that. Go watch Bubba Ho-tep. And I'll see you next time.